So check this out. Have you ever been somewhere digging for comics and you find a bunch of stuff, maybe not in the best condition, maybe books that the owner's not really trying to get rich off of, and you buy a lot of them, and there's a few loose ends and knickknacks in there among the books, and you wonder about those things. You ask about them, and the person selling the comic says, "Oh, just take them, right along with the other stuff." You go, "Oh, okay, cool." Well, that's sort of what kind of video this is today. I'm actually looking for a little help and insight because when I found some comics, some underground comics at over at Greg's Comics here in town, there was like some miscellaneous stuff in the long box with all of the other underground comics that was there. So I pulled that stuff out too, and he just kind of threw them in with the comic books that I had already had in my stack. And I've, spent a lot of money and picked up a lot of books over there. So I just want to like run some of these items by, just like a few items, and you guys can give me hopefully some insight on what I actually have here. The first one I want to show you is like this mini comic called Grunt. Now, as far as I know about this book was released from the record label called Grunt. Now, me being a record collector, I've come across the Grunt label many, many times over the years. I don't own any records from the Grunt label because it's really not my type of music. But apparently, at some point, they put out this book as I guess it's a promotional item, which I think is very cool. I believe the year was 1972 that this was out, and this definitely has like that whole underground comics art vibe to it. If you check that out, yeah, definitely, and it's not the same size. This is probably 6 inches by 6 inches as far as the size of the book, so it's not a full-size book at all. You guys know much about this Grunt comic? I think there was only 2 issues. I think this was 72 and issue number 2, which I think was a full size. I'm not sure. It was 1973, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this was in there, and he told me I could take it, and I said, cool. Yeah, let's see what I can do with it. So yeah, that's the first one I want to show you. Grunt, simply titled Grunt, from the Grunt Records label, apparently. Okay, next up. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos about underground comics, you know that, or you've heard the publishing company Last Gasp many times. They put out a crap load of underground comics in the 70s. Well, this is, I guess, a $20 bill, $20,000 bill. The United Heads of America, and on the back it says Last Gasp, and they had like a little baggie in there, and there was 3 of them in there from Last Gasp Comics. Does that look familiar to anyone? Can anybody give me any insight on this? And I just noticed right now that that's got like a, who is that, like Ronald Reagan? I think this is supposed to be Hoover on the picture. And then, oh, actually there's 4 of them here. This one kind of looks like the Freak Brothers. Am Am I saying that right? Does that look right to you? And what's the fourth one? Oh, there's actually two that look like Hoover in there. And the backs are all the same. All the same on the back. So what is this? Is this a promotional item? Did this come with a certain book off of Last Gas? Was this something that you had to order separately and get? I'm not sure. You guys tell me what this is. Give me some insight on that. I'm just curious as to what that might be. Okay, let's look at another one. This one is like a mini comic. This is like, what, 3 inches by 3 inches? And it's like a mini Zap comic, the Robert Crumb book. And all it really features is, it says 7 cents on the cover. And all it really features is some pictures and a little bit of artwork. Robert Crumb being the godfather of underground comics. Like, I can't even explain that. I don't know what this is about at all. Let's look at something. It's only a few pages long. That's like everything right there. Zapped on the back, Zap on the front. Can anybody tell me about this mini comic book from Robert Crumb? Was it sold separately from his other stuff? Was it included? Is it a fan club item? I'm just curious. I just want to know. I've never seen this before. Again, they threw that in with the other books that I was buying. Just want some insight. I got one more that I want to show you. This is an item from Von Bodie, and apparently, from what I can gather, he released a book, a comic called Sunpot, and with that book, it gave you, I guess, Sunpot is a planet, and it came with like a poster of the schematics of that actual planet, something like that. See that? Now, if you're into underground comics, you're obviously into Von Bodie, or you at least know about him. You know, real big in the graffiti world later on. This one is from 1971. Can anybody give me any insight on that book, Sunpot? I've never actually seen it or owned it or seen it out in the wild anywhere. But apparently, from what I can gather, this poster came with the comic book. So, help me out to all my underground comic collectors out there who know way, way more than I do. Tell me about these items and give me a little insight. Let me know. Give me some of your knowledge. Let me know what I have here. All right? It's a quickie. Thank you so much for watching. This is Daryl D, and we'll see you next time. Take care.